Hello and welcome back to my channel, and we rejoin our characters in the Green Dragon Inn. They have just consolidated an alliance with Adalind, the magic user who had been part of Party B under Baldor. She has decided to effectively jump ship. Maybe we haven't poached her from Baldur's party. She seems to have already resigned from that group. She put this down to the fact that Baldur, she didn't feel that he was acting properly as a leader. There seemed to have been a bit of a fallout the last expedition they had been involved in at Darkwater Lake. When they were trying to navigate the causeway over to the island in the center of this lake, with this reputedly evil temple that's been ruined for over 170 years. And because of his behavior to one of the party members, Malar, who had slipped, had broken his leg, he was just going to be left, according to Baldur, and while they would drive on, they had a bit of a to-do with Baldur about this, and the party's never been the same since. So she had kind of almost resigned herself to leaving that party, and when Dagobert, with his usual forthright and straight-talking manner, offered her the proposition of joining our party, Party A, with the prospect of not only sharing in the glory of a successful party, but also having the prize share of whatever she desired, whatever choice she wanted from the first haul from the Darkwater. That's on the assumption that we actually get there, and also that we actually gain any treasure. But as adventurers, we're always optimistic and hopeful. That's part of our cheery demeanor. Okay, so what I have been doing in the meantime has been basically fleshing Adalind out a bit more. I do have some things that I need to do basically on camera to just finalize Adalind's profile. So let's get to our character sheet. The first thing I did was on the master matrix, Adalind. What I've done is I've underlined where all our characters form Party A, so that's this little thing here, and Adalind becomes Party A, and I've given her the surname Winterthorne. I thought that was reasonably appropriate. She's got a bit of, I don't know, she can be a bit frosty, and gives off a kind of quite an aloof and quite a cold kind of manner. And I thought that name just really kind of almost like summed up her overall persona, Winterthorne. So you know, she's obviously going to develop as we progress and take on her own character. But she has, as one of her personalities, she has aloof, and that I thought maybe that is just part of the reason why she gives off maybe this kind of frosty, detached, almost superior type of attitude. She is a lot older than the rest of the party. She's 38. She has come from minor nobility. It shaped maybe her outlook in life. As I said way back in one of the earlier videos, this is a stratified feudal society where rank has its privileges and also has its almost view of self-importance and entitlement would be the word. So you know, that's kind of part of her makeup, and I just thought that name would nicely encapsulate it for the time being. But Adalind might, you know, she might thaw. You know, that would be nice. And then on the character sheet, I have got our guys, original, the core three, the three amigos, Tristan, Dagobert and Lindris. I've now got another two that I've added into that mix. I have our latest edition, just penultimate edition, Anarian Emberheart, who is our ranger, and now we have Adalind Winterthorne. So I've really just filled out, I had a space ready, all for another, because I think I had said the objective was maybe to try and get us up to 5. So, I have achieved that. We have now got new, we've got, just to recap, we've got the red of Tristan, we've got the blue of Dagobert. Oh, you can't even see that, it's not in camera. The red of Tristan, the blue of Dagobert, the green of Lindris, the yellow of Anarian Emberheart, and now we have the purple of Adalind. Unfortunately, I don't have any more of these type of designs, but I thought, this is quite a nice pawn to use. So Adalind is now purple. It's kind of like a good kind of magic user color, I think. It kind of sums up things. So Adalind Winterthorne, she is a magic user. She's human. Female, so at least we've now got a female in the party, so that's good. Level 1, she is originally from the kingdom. As I said, she's from minor nobility. She's got some very good statistics, nothing maybe completely off the chart, but just a very high average. She's got 14 strength, so she is as strong as Anarian Emberheart, and in fact she is one of the strong, apart from Tristan, who has phenomenal strength, she is stronger than Dagobert, and she's stronger than Lindris. So just watch it with Adalind. Intelligence, maybe that would have been better, being a bit higher, but it's still a good intelligence of 14. That's a prerequisite, so she's not going to get a bonus for experience, unfortunately. Her wisdom is terrific, that's 17. Dexterity 14, which is very good, but unfortunately doesn't accrue any bonuses, which would have been quite nice for armor class. So her armor class is going to be stuck at 10, I'm afraid. Constitution's 13, which is okay, but again, no hit point additions. And her charisma is her weakest, and we've already mentioned that maybe she's just a bit too. She doesn't really give off too much feeling of either leadership, or she's kind of maybe a bit keeps herself to herself type thing. She's got this aloof personality. It doesn't really kind of mesh with someone that is obviously very charismatic and exudes a kind of aura like an Aryan. Adalind maybe just is. Maybe hides her light under something, under her robe, under her cloak. She is of neutral alignment, so that actually makes her the most middle of the road for us, because we're all variations on a theme. So Tristan is neutral good, Dagobert is lawful neutral, Lindris is chaotic good, and Anarian Emberheart is neutral good, and Adalind is pure neutral. So she has a very, when you think of it, the world view for neutral. Basically, the classic thing for the druid is they just think of everything in balance. I think maybe for an individual that isn't a druid and doesn't maybe have that world view, neutral just really means that, they really kind of, they don't really, they have no kind of real kind of views on anything. They have no strong feelings for any way, or if chaos is ascending, yeah, that's fine. If law is ascending, yeah, that's fine. Maybe they get a wee bit angry, or they feel in a bad way if people are exhibiting maybe extremes. So they probably can't, maybe, you know, they can't really tolerate being around paladins for too long. You know, they're just too paladin, you know, too lawful good. So, you know, maybe the extremes, you know, they kind of rile against, but generally, you know, they're just like one of, you know, life's, they're just a kind of social lubricant type people that just don't really, you know, they just sort of just float around and have no real strong affiliations. So, you know, the fact that she's quite, she wants to be committed to our party is probably a good sign that, you know, she's kind of rolled her dice and thought, right, I need some team players. I need some people I can trust. These four guys look as though they're going to deliver for that. So I'm going to give them a chance. Her age is 38, so she is the oldest by far. So she can bring to the party maybe some maybe a bit more of a sober and mature outlook. And certainly she'd be quite good for some of the other more maybe immature type of characters, or maybe outbursts. You know, even someone like an Aryan, who is quite a wily ranger, he still shows a bit of boyish outburst type of activity, so she might be in a good position to do that, and that might be just some quite interesting little role-playing situations where Adalind is kind of scolding them for being a bit childish, and come on boys, you know, get your act together, you know, start behaving. You know, we could maybe have a bit of fun there. Our secondary skill was gardener, so she is I think we mentioned when we actually rolled Adelind's stats up that she had been involved. This was almost like her passion, you know, when she had her noble residence. She was very keen on the gardening aspect out in the, you know, the stately grounds. And she really had a bit of a passion for that. So her early days were all about herbalism and that type of thing. So maybe some of her magic interests are kind of shaped towards that. Her general tendencies are perceptive, and she is aloof. So perceptive is going to be probably quite useful, actually. And I'm going to try and play on that to say, you know, she maybe shows, you know, your classic kind of woman's intuition type characteristic. So, you know, I don't really want to do this kind of stereotype, but, you know, let's just say that she is quite perceptive, and she can almost like read the room sometimes, and that maybe helps with her charisma, that she can almost like just understand the social context she's in, or understand, say she was out in, you know, maybe the dark water experience, she maybe warned them that you know, this causeway doesn't look very safe, you know, take care. You know, maybe that's her kind of little addition that she can give to parties, you know, a perceptive nature, or you know, maybe she can see potential danger coming. So I think that, combined with our ranger and some of our other three characters, is a good good thing for the party. Hit points I have to decide, and the classic magic user, because I know all about this, because my first character when I played D&D ever was a magic user, and I had 1d4 to roll, and guess what I got? I got the classic 1. So I had 1 hit point. I died in that, but I think I mentioned I had an absolute blast of a time, and after that I was addicted, and now I am 60 and I am still doing it, being addicted. So we are going to roll for Adalind's hit points, and remember, I have a minimum of 2, which is half, so the minimum is going to be 2. So we get, ooh, nice one, we get a 4. So Adalind has as many hit points as a Daggerbird. So that's a really good start for Adalind. Adalind Winterthorne, 4 hit point magic user. Her armor class is 10. She's only going to be wearing robes. She's not allowed any armor or even a helmet, I don't think. Weapon proficiency. In fact, because she doesn't have the helmet, when we do have some hits, I think is it in the Dungeon Master's Guide? it says that if you have a hit without a helmet, I don't think magic users are allowed to wear helmets, because this, I've read somewhere that it's something to do with it would interfere with their kind of like the brain waves, really. But you know, there's something to do with that. Just the magic, the use of magic. So helmets, it's assumed that an appropriate type of head armouring will be added to the suit of armour in order to allow uniform protection of the wearer. Wearing of a great helm adds, so we get the great helm thing. If a helmet is not worn, 1 blow in 6 will strike at the armour class 10 head unless the opponent isn't. So this doesn't even apply to, so this would just be if our armour class was less than 10, we would have this. So yeah, maybe it's a bit of a red herring there. But basically she doesn't have any form of protection. Her weapon proficiency likewise is very poor. She's only allowed 1 at level 1, and if she uses a weapon that isn't part of her repertoire, she's at a -5. We're not really expecting Adalind to weigh into combat situations, and it's probably going to be more self-defense. And also she is blessed at this stage with a 12-inch movement rate, and she's got a big encumbrance tolerance too. So she's the same as Anarian because of her strength 14. She can take up to 550 gold pieces in weight before she goes into the next band. And she's not going to be bothered by things like armor. She's just going to be weighed down maybe with this spell book, which is about 200 gold pieces of weight. The same way that Lindris is, and that's a big problem for Lindris because he likes to wear armor too. So he had a bit of a trade-off when it came to all the different weapons, because he wanted to have some missile weapons too, and he just couldn't do it and stay mobile. Otherwise he'd be down to a 6-inch movement rate, which is a disaster. So we're gonna see what we get after we just do all our tallying up. So I haven't done all the stuff for Adalind. As I say, I had a few things. I've got the hit points to do. I've got the starting money to do and equipment. I made a start on it. I've got, for example, that she's going to have a staff, and that's her weapon proficiency. And she's going to have a dagger as well, which she would do at a -5. But she's got that as almost like a self-defense weapon. She could potentially throw it, but she'd probably miss. And also we've got some of her, I've got her equipment. I've got a spell book currently, just like Lindris. It's in a satchel, it's leather bound. She's got her backpack. She's got a cloak like the rest of the characters. Probably quite a rich cloak, I would say, well made. Water skinned boots, I'm going to say hard, but again probably very, very fine boots, well made, and a robe. I'm going to say that she wears this very luxuriant robe. It's very, very, very well tailored and fits perfectly to her figure. And I've said that's a bit more expensive. So again, she's going to wear clothes that are really fitting to her status. And she's probably still got those from her noble days. But we do need to just determine what her starting money is. And again, I think this is reasonably academic. If we can assume that she has come from a rich background, but because of all her adventuring and the fact that she's out in the northern marches now, she's only really left with this amount of money left as her starting funds. So what I'll do is I'll calculate this and then deduct what we've already spent and just see what's left over, and do that as a bit of accounting for myself to do offline. So we've got 2 D4s that we need to do, so I'll get my other D4. So let's see how much money she's got at the start. We've got a 3 there and a 2, that's 50, so she's got 50 gold pieces, which is okay. Yes. If we say that she can spend 25 of that on herself and have, so where is the money? Money is finances, here we go. 50 gold pieces at the start. And then I've got slots here for how much we spend on equipment and how much we have for current. So I've already done some purchases, so I'll take them off and I'll see what we've got left at the result. Okay, and I think on encumbrance, I think she'd probably still put, take a lot to get up to 550 gold pieces if we don't have any weapons and armor. Her weapons, they only take 50 gold pieces, and say her spell book is another 200. That's 250, so she's maybe halfway up that. Take on a few more bits and pieces of equipment. She's well within the 12-inch thing, so she's very agile. She can run around and do that sort of thing. Probably maybe run away if things go that bad. That'd probably be my advice to Adalind. Just scarp her if things really go kind of south. I think I've done basically everything on Adalind, short of the exciting bit, which is the tantalizing prospect of finding what is in Adalind's spellbook. So we can have a little game to say what's in Adalind's spellbook. So we'll get our Dungeon Master's Guide out. We did this for Lindris, and it was a wee bit on the disappointing side because we were just going all out random on it. I have got a wee bit of a waiting for Adalind this time, which is going to help us select maybe some tasty offensive, defensive, and miscellaneous spells. So we will have Read Magic as one. So if we just get Adalind's sheet, I'll just get a wee post-it note for that. So if we just get, we've got Read Magic anyhow, as our first one, and we're allowed 3 other spells, 1 offensive, 1 defensive, and 1 miscellaneous. Now, I remember saying that if we recruited Adalind, she has been taught by an expert magic user, finest master, and she has been given access to many spells of almost like her choice. So I am going to up the ante a bit on her selection methodology, and instead of just having a straight 1d10 per column, I am going to do 3d10 and select the one that is best suited for our party, and effectively the one of choice. So let's start with let's maybe go backwards and get to the real juicy one right at the end. We'll do offensive last. We'll start with miscellaneous spells, and we can just see how this pans out, see whether it gives us the result we want. So on miscellaneous, we are going to get our D10. Make sure I've got a D10. And what we're going to do is we're going to roll this 3 times, and we're going to take the best. So first D10 is a 9, right. So that is right. So I'm not sure what right is. I might have to look that one up. The next miscellaneous spell is 9, which is right. We don't do that. We have to roll another one. So the second one is 6, which is mending. So I don't quite know what mending's all about either. And the next one is 9. So we're really wanting to write. So let's just see whether we can get a 10, and we can choose anything. So we get a 6, which is mending again. Yeah, you can see this is really working. And a 5. Here we go. Identify. Ooh, now identify. That was the one that Kayla was using just recently to try to identify our magic pool sample. And I know what I've done with the magic pool thing is I haven't really stuck to official D&D rules as written there. I've kind of bent it a wee bit so that she could use the identify spell for the magic pool. But I think just on a purist thing, the identify spell, that did seem quite a powerful thing. It was a bit expensive to use, But, you know, if we had someone in our party that could do identify, that might actually save us having to go and get, you know, the appraisal fee was extortionate. And I think it was 300 gold pieces. So not only did we have the 100 gold piece pearl that you had to crush, we had that owl feather. We had to all dip it all in red wine. You know, red wine's probably not that expensive. You know, put it all in, and then we had that. Oh, what was it? The cuttlefish we had to swallow. So all that, you know, and she had her special ingredient, Kayla, to give it a bit of help with identification. So we're not going to have that, but we can cut out all the costs apart from the materials. So I would say, if I was going to choose one, well, maybe we need to just quickly check what the other twos would be, because we've got right. So if we look at just quickly at the magic user spells, I used to like just reading through magic user spell and, you know, all the spells, and, you know, just going through them one after another and just thinking, oh, I wonder what it would be like to have that. So this is our little opportunity to go down memory lane and find out exactly what some of these little spells are. So we've got right. By means of this spell, a magic user will be able to inscribe a spell he or she cannot understand at the time due to the level or lack of sufficient intelligence into the tome or other compilation he or she employs to maintain a library of spells. The magic user must make a saving throw versus magic to attempt the writing of any spell. Blah, 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 blah. This, so there's a potential, there's damage. The throw fails, the magic user is subject to 1d4. Oh, I don't like the look of this. You know, this might be all right for actually transcribing. I suppose it's like taking scrolls down and putting them into your spell book. Yeah, I still like identifying comparison. What did the other one we had was mending. Mending might sound quite interesting. What is mending? Mending. This spell repairs small breaks in objects. It will weld a broken ring, a chain link, a medallion, or slender dagger, providing but one break exists. Ceramic or wooden objects with multiple breaks can be. Alright, okay. So maybe, you know, say that, you know, Lindros was throwing his dagger, and we had this retrieval mechanism. You know, say it got damaged or broken, you know, she could repair that. It just seems an awful bit of a waste to have a whole spare spell that's based on mending little things. You know, you're basically fixing a vase. You just get some super glue. You know, this is the kind of AD&D version of super glue. Nah, I don't. I think we're going to go for identify. Yeah. I'm tantalized by what Kayla was doing, and I think that might be quite useful. Yeah, because when you think of it, our real objective is to get things like magic items and magic weapons, and if we have an identify spell, we're pretty well down the route of identifying what the properties are. So let's go for identify as our miscellaneous. I like it. Okay, so we're on to defensive. And let's see. Now, I remember Lindros has got Hold Portal on that, and that has proved to be very effective because we kept that awful spider under wraps. That was one of our first, in fact, I think that was our first encounter, and what a terrifying one that was. And still shivers down my spine when I remember that awful. Almost like remember it was genetically modified. It had that extra cunning that Callisto had imbued in him. You know, it really was quite a cunning opponent. It wasn't quite as cunning in the end because we managed to double guess its position. But yeah, it had a lot of potential, that monster. So let's do 3d10 on defensive, and we get a 4, which is yeah, that is Hold Portal. So 4, and I'll just put Hold Portal. Our second one is a 7, which is, oh right, shield. Yeah, that could be good. 7, shield. especially if shield can be done over multiple, like the party. You know, that way. But let's see, we'll have to check that one. And our final defensive spell is a 1 effect normal fires. Doesn't really sound very exciting. You know, it's got the word normal in it. Is that just going to be a bit bored? Let's look at, we know what whole portal is, so we know that that's a good spell. Let's find out what shield is. I think shield sounds quite censorious and interesting. Let's find out. Let's use this shield. QRS shield. Here we go. Evocation shield. When this spell is cast, an invisible barrier before the front of the magic user comes into being. This shield will totally negate magic missile attacks. It provides the equivalent protection of Armor Class 2 against handheld missiles, or Armor Class 3 against small device-propelled missiles, arrows, bolts. So I suppose the storm of bullets or bolts, or arrows that an Arian was doing, Adalind could put this shield spell up and it would just classify it as Armor Class 3. The shield also adds +1 to the magic user's saving throw dice versus attacks which are basically frontal. Right, I like this one because I think this would be probably Adalind's choice if she was going to have a defensive spell, because she's all about on your first level. With only 4 hit points, she is all about self-preservation. There's no point having all these fancy spells if she can't actually protect herself. This really does the job if she's in a combat situation and someone starts going, aiming for her. And let's just out of interest, just find out what effect normal fires is. This spell enables the magic users to cause small fires from as small as a torch or lantern to as large as a normal bonfire. Yeah, so basically this is just like a glorified tinderbox. Yeah, I like the sound of shield. A whole portal is a great spell, but Lindra's got that. Let's add shield to our kit bag. I like that. So let's go on to the exciting, the Priest de Resistance, the offensive spell. This is what the chaps in the party are waiting for. They're wanting something that is just down our street. Probably magic missile would be a terrific one. Sleep, yeah, that old favorite, sleep. Put those orcs to sleep instead of having to hack away at them. And maybe charm person. Shocking grasp might be something. So there's a lot there that we really want to get our little character mitts on. So let's see what we're going to get. Are the dice, the magic dice, going to whatever god of magic users? Let's just pray to them. The first dice is a 3. Enlarge. Yeah, let's get on rapidly. I think you can have a very large Adalind running around. 1 burning hands. Oh, this is not fantastic. What is happening? Burning hands. So this is our last chance to get something. 9 sleep. Yes. We have hit the jackpot. Sleep. Yes, we have the sleep spell. So if we have identify, shield, and sleep, isn't that a very good combination? Out of completeness, I am going to do a little check of what these other 2 spells are. Because I suppose, I might be spending a bit of time on this, but, we don't really get the chance to look at a lot of magic stuff in a bit of detail. So I think it's quite nice just to quickly browse through some of these things. and just see exactly what they're all about. So enlarge. This spell causes instant growth of a creature or object. Oh, right, okay. So you could cast it on something else. God, it goes on for ages. Yeah, it goes. This really goes to town on it. I don't think it stands as good as sleep though. I'm almost like it's almost like I am with the sleep camp already. Burning hands. It would have to be something amazing. Burning hands. When the mad user casts this spell, jets of searing flame shoot from his or her fingertips. Hands can only be held so as to send forth a fan-like sheet of flames. As the mad user's thumbs must touch each other and fingers must be spread. The burning hands send out flame jets of 3 foot length in a horizontal arc of about 120 degrees in front of the mad user. Any creature in the area of flames takes 1 hit point of damage for each level of experience of the spellcaster and no saving throw. Okay, so it's not really great on, you know, it sounded at the start, I thought, wow, this sounds amazing. You're burning hands and you're shooting out jets of flame from it. It's like carrying a kind of flamethrower built into your hands. But it only does 1 hit point of damage for each level of experience. So it would only do 1 hit point of damage. So it basically just like, you know, shooting out a little, it's almost like lighting up a lighter or something. It's going to do a little bit of a burn. No, I just, I think if it had been like, say, it had been 6 hit points damage or something that would have killed something. I think we're going to have to go for our old favourite sleep. And the good thing about sleep is we can actually see it in action. So we know we've got that as a kind of emergency spell that we can use. So when mad user casts a sleep spell, he or she will usually cause a comatose slumber to come upon 1 or more creatures. From the spell's effects, all creatures to be affected by the sleep spell must be within a 3-inch diameter circle, which is quite often the case if you get them in a room. The number of creatures can be affected as a function of the life energy levels expressed as hit dice. So let's take it for those rats. So up to 1, we could have had 4 to 16 of those rats just fall asleep, and we could have just come up and done what we needed to do to the rats, and probably not even get contamination or anything. You know, apart from just our standard disease check at the end of the adventure. So that is, and then 2 to 8 on 1 + 1 to 2. So that's a lot. Yeah, I think it's just a no-brainer. Sleep. So good. So we are there on Adalind. As a recap, we have Identify as our miscellaneous, we have Shield as our defensive, and we have Sleep as our offensive spell. Good. So I would say that is a result for the party. We have now got not only offensive capability in the magic dimension, but we have also got some quite good defense for Adalind. Maybe we're not going to be quite as worried about her if she starts coming under the scrutiny, say, of intelligent monsters that think, we really got to take that magic user out. We don't like the look of her. Okay. Right, I think, let's see, we've only got a few, you know, that's taken probably longer. You know, I almost like indulge myself a wee bit in the magic user spells. What the next thing we've got to do is, the plan of action was the hit point recovery, because when you think of it, where we are in the day, we recruited Adalind around about midday on the Saturday. So we'll just get our master out of this. We've got, we've been to Thudabert's, and then we had Recruitment of Adelind into party. And we said Thudabert's was in the morning, and then what Dagobert did was he memorized his healing spell. He cast it on Tristan, and Tristan got his fully up to strength. Dagobert is probably going to spend some time memorizing a spell again for 4 hours, plus the 15 minutes, and then cast it probably on himself. And Anarion is healing today, and he'll be healed by the end of tomorrow. So he's probably not going to need Dagobert. He's going to be healed by, as long as we don't do anything too strenuous on the Sunday. And Sunday, remember we had the Holy Day observance last Sunday? We'll have the same thing again, because Dagobert will be roped in to do some stuff. Maybe Tristan and Lindris and even Anarion. Anarion might have to do something, maybe one of his ranger friends or whatever is contacting him to... that's probably reasonably unlikely, because what Anarion's done is he's almost got a leave of absence to do this adventuring for a time being. So there's probably not going to be any calls on him. But certainly for Dagobert, he was involved in Holy Day observance last time. We had to roll a dice for how many hours he was involved in that. And when we can do the little routine again of seeing how the clerics got on with rooting out the corruption in the flock. That was quite reasonably entertaining. So that's Sunday. I think we'll be fully healed. If Dagobert does something later on in the afternoon, he just goes away and does a bit of meditation, he can heal himself. The other thing that we wanted to do on the Saturday afternoon was go to the keep and have a conversation with Eredin, the Chamberlain, Lord Siwa's Chamberlain. Two objectives. One was to give him information about the halflings that we came across, and Tobin Briarfoot, the leader of that party, the fact that he had mentioned that they came from the Old Forest, and they were also looking for an heirloom of theirs, the Hearthstone. This might all be information that is of value to the keep, and we can use our knowledge mechanic and roll our d10 on that and see whether we can get any reward on that. So that could be a potentially lucrative thing to give that to the keep, and also as a secondary to see whether Eredin has got any missions on the Seaward mechanic coming through, the state-sponsored missions, or give us an indication of when one of those will be coming up. So let's do that in the next episode, because that'll probably take a bit of time just to stage that and go through some of the things on that. Okay, well, that was good. I enjoyed that, because that basically introduced Adalind Winterthorne to our party. We've fleshed her out. I'll do the admin on her later on, just all our equipment, get her fully fleshed out. But I would say we've now got a welcome addition to our party. When there was 4, there is now 5. We have our female representation at last. It's not just a boys' club. It's going to have some sense now. We're going to, and especially the fact that she's quite of a more mature age. Want to be reasonably delicate about ages. But I would give probably my eye teeth for 38. I think that's probably of a great age. But to some people that might seem a bit more mature. So I think we are lined up. We've got the spells that we need for taking offensive and defensive action. We've got Lindris' hold portal. He can comprehend languages, and he has the other one, which I keep forgetting. What is it? Is it... It will come. Read magic, friends, hold portal, and friends. That was the thing where he had to put a bit of rouge on his face. It was all a bit strange. So he's got that. We've got Adalind with her amazing spells in her spell book. We've got basically a dedicated magic user that can really help us, I think, when it comes to this adventure. Plus, she's got the inside track on Darkwater Lake. And Darkwater Lake is what they are going to be. These two are going to be working together. Adalind's going to be providing the intel to Anarion. He's going to be looking at a map of the region and jotting down exactly what steps they did and thinking, right, I know the wilds. Let's find out how much Anarion knows about this region. We'll use this knowledge mechanic I have for rangers we'll find out what's the best way to get to Darkwater Lake in one piece and effectively, nice and efficiently too. So that's on the go. I think that there's plenty on the stocks. With Darkwater Lake, as I've said a few times, I'm going to introduce some thematic things. I'm probably going to have a bit more of a tailored random monster table. And some of the rooms will probably be designated temple-orientated rooms with appropriate furnishings and fittings. So yeah, I think this will be quite a nice change from the Dunmorna. Dunmorna's provided a great gateway to my setting. Now I think we just need to evolve and go to a different type of experience, and that would be Darkwater Lake, the temple there, and try out some new mechanics to help us have an adventure that we can that will be written large in the annals of the Green Dragon Inn. Okay, right, that's me for today. One final thing, I'm just going to make a bit of an announcement for the channel. I have other commitments for the next couple of weeks, so the earliest I'm going to be able to get a video out is going to be the end of May, but thereafter, service will be resumed. I might put something up on one of the notifications I can do on my channel, just to say that for the Traveller side and the RuneQuest, and also the AD&D, no videos for the foreseeable future, but it's only going to be a short-term thing. Okay, well, thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you next time.